Hello, people! As of recording this video, today is August 2nd, which is a month after Groove release. It's Groove's 1 month anniversary, and I'm still not done with everything. But I thought I would go ahead and put my thoughts out here because I feel like it's been long enough. I'm glad I'm not done with everything, actually. I was actually kind of upset because I got the number of remixes spoiled before I had a chance to play, because people would be rude and post spoilers, and then I would get YouTube notifications when I'm doing something else on my phone that says like YouTube recommended Rhythm Heaven Groove Remix 20, and I'm like, stop! So, but then I got excited because I was like, whoa, wait a second, there's 20 remixes? Does that mean there's going to be 20 rows? Because naturally, a remix is always at the end of a column. So that's what I was thinking the whole time. I did not even watch spoiler videos while I was playing. So on Wednesday, July 1st, it launched for me at 11 p.m. Central. And so I did all the responsibility things I needed to do that day, so I could just spend the rest of the Thursday and Friday and Saturday and Sunday and possibly Monday playing Groove. Because I was like, surely it's going to take me till Monday to unlock all the games. No. So I stayed up until like 2:30 playing, and I made it past Remix 6 and then the credits game. So I was like, oh god, I made it to the credits on launch night? What is this? And at first I was kind of griping on it because I'm like, this is way too easy. Why is this too easy? This is the 5th game in the series. Why am I getting to the credits on launch night? But I kind of, like, when you're just in the midst of playing, you forget about all sense of logic. At least I do. So I kind of wasn't thinking, well, Nintendo shared it would have 80 plus games. I wasn't thinking about any of that. I was just like, how? How are we at the credits already? Because I knew that, like, in previous Rhythm Heaven installments, I don't know about Tengoku because I haven't played it, but in the DS, you get the credits after Remix 6, and then 7, 8, 9, and 10 have sequels, and then remixes that kind of include every game. And then Fever, you get the credits after Remix 7, and then stages 8, 9, and 10 have sequels, and then those 3 remixes have things from every game. So I was very confused when the credits were already there. I was like, huh? At Remix 6, but so then I went to bed. Well, actually, that's a lie. I did watch my favorite Rhythm Heaven YouTuber's stream because he was still streaming. And actually, we were in the same spot. So I was like, okay, this is cool. We're kind of playing at the same pace here. And so I was like, okay, it's just sequels. I'll be fine. So I watched him do row 7 and 8 when I was getting ready for bed. And then I started dozing off when he got to the flip side. So I was like, okay, this is perfect. This is new stuff. I don't want to get spoiled. But I saw Brawly Good Show 2 and Backup Spotlight 2. And then I started falling asleep when he was doing Flutter Speed 2. So I closed the app and went to bed. Then, Thursday morning, I wake up. I do all the important things I need to do. And then I grab my Switch and I start doing row 7 and 8. And then you guys know how it went with Ribbit Rocket 2. That was hell. That was absolute hell. But needless to say, I don't hate it. I don't love Working Dough 2. I will not play it randomly. I will not play it willingly on the Wii. I don't like it. But Ribbit Rocket 2, I do like. I play it every once in a while. Willingly. So it was a nice struggle. I was getting frustrated because it was like 2 hours and I just wanted to be done, but that didn't mean I hated the game. Just like, Berserkers in God of War Ragnarok. Sometimes I get to the point where I just want to be done, but I'm still having fun with it. So I get through 7 and 8, and also Remix 8 is my favorite, by the way. I did struggle with Remix 8, but it was the kind of struggle, like, Ribbit Rocket 2 was also a good struggle. It just took a lot longer. And on that note, the YouTuber I watch, he just did all the games in night mode, which I will get to later. And he was struggling with Ribbit Rocket 2 because he couldn't see it. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm not insane. So if any blind players have gotten there, which I haven't heard anything from like anybody I follow, but if any blind players have gotten there, like let me know how you're doing, or just how you're doing with the whole game in general, because the things that sighted people struggled with, I didn't. Like hop and slide. Oh my god, I saw so many videos of sighted people raging with hop and slide. Meanwhile, then that's in stage 2. And meanwhile, I'm over here like, yes, this is the kind of challenge I wanted. Why couldn't you give us at least one more column in the demo? This would have made me happy. But it was worth the wait. I was happy about it. I think I did get, what's it called? Not an okay. A very good on my first try. And then the second try I got a amazing. I keep wanting to say superb because those are still engraved in my brain. So, and like Sneezy Moon, I did not struggle with Sneezy Moon at all. I did not struggle with Hop, Stop, and Roll at all. I did not struggle with lightning bolting at all. My struggle was Ribbit Rocket 2. That was my only real struggle. And a couple of the multiplayer games. But again, we'll get there. I need to post some shorts. I've been posting to like Twitter and TikTok, but not YouTube. I've been really bad about YouTube lately. I think it's because the text field for the shorts is so small, and I hate it. I can type out a whole explanation on the other places, but then YouTube, I have to reformat it to only be 100 characters and mostly hashtags. So that, I think that's the annoying part. But anyway, so I finish stage 8, and then I go to the flip side, and then first I played with Score Attack for a minute, because I was like, ooh, what's this? And Quiz Show, I still don't like it. Like, it's fine. I did all 3 of them, but it's not something I'm gonna come back to. I think my favorite of those is the skateboarding, which the second one is still giving me hell. But I haven't played with it in a minute. I need to get back to it. And the Brawly Good Encore. I like those 2. I don't really care for a lot of the other Score Attack games. And the Firing Frenzy is just confusing to me. But I think I just need to play it more. I don't know if it's very blind friendly or if I just need to play it more. That one is kind of endless. That's one of the few things I don't like about this game, is that they took the endless games away from us. And I'm not happy about it. Even with 2-player, there's no endless 2-player games. It's just a 2-player toy box, which I have not played with yet, but I don't love the toy box either. Like, I can't figure out the soundboards, and I don't know, I just get bored with the toy box. But to be fair, I barely touched the toy boxes in the other games too. My favorite toy box game ever, I think it's called Hi-Hat on Rhythm Heaven Fever. You play a hi-hat to the beats. There's 3 different beats, and there's Easter eggs in there. So the one in 4/4 time is Bluebirds from DS, which I love. The second one, I don't know what time signature that is I learned recently that is the Rhythm Tweezers song. But even when I was like 13 or 14, I loved that one because I loved the song, but I never knew where it came from. And then I think the one in 6/8 time is the Rhythm Heaven Fever main menu title screen thing, but just more jazzed up. And that's my favorite rhythm toy. I didn't find any in this game that I really like, and I don't really like the ones in DS either. But those aren't really important. Those are just fun little things you can mess with that don't really mean anything. They don't get you a score. They're just fun to play with, I guess. So then I continued on, and I did Brawly Good Show 2, Backup Spotlight 2, which is my favorite of the two Backup Spotlights, and then Flutter Speed 2. And this is something really weird that happened. So I got tired watching my favorite YouTuber play, right? It was like 3:30 in the morning by that point. So I shut it off when he does Flutter Speed 2. Right after Flutter Speed 2, I unlocked a game called Quick Hands. And so I was like, oh, there's still new games? So I'm glad I didn't get that spoiled for myself. But then when I clicked on it...
Oh! Here's what's happening. You are a karate student. You're about to start some special training to make your punches quicker.
Why did people have to be home? I found it. Yep, if I would have watched a few more seconds of that stream, I would have been pissed because the one thing I've been hoping for, I would have had spoiled. Now, that being said, I have mixed feelings about this version of Karate Man. And some people try to tell me, oh, it's easier because it's Karate Joe's son. No, it's not. If you read the comics after getting the perfects, it's Karate Joe. I don't like that it's that easy. The song has grown on me, especially when I played with earbuds, because you don't really get the bass effect when you just play it in handheld mode, but I had to in order to record those clips. Also, that is an audio-only recording, but I was able to add a blue effect to it, so hopefully visually it looks cooler. But yeah, that was my first reaction to Quick Hands. I didn't make the full short, I didn't make my full reaction to it because I didn't say much. And I wasn't very impressed because it was so easy. I was trying to keep my expectations in check. I knew it wasn't going to be harder than Karate Man Senior, but this felt like too easy. This was easier than Karate Man on the DS. I've never played Tengoku, but watching it, I would put it maybe a step above Tengoku. So, in terms of the first Karate Man games, not including the sequels, I would do Karate Man on Tengoku, then Quick Hands, then DS, then Fever, then Karate Man Senior. Some people like to say they think Groove is a soft reboot for the series, and I can see it, because even, I keep wanting to say Samurai Slice, it's not that, it's called Spirit Slasher. That was too easy as well. And so this kind of made me want to play Megamix even more. I thought it would kind of help me resist that urge, but not really. In some ways, yes, but in other ways, not really. I'm still hoping for a Megamix Switch port. I don't know if it's gonna happen. Some people want it, and some people are like, it's not happening. Actually, tomorrow, Monday, August 3rd, I learned is the 20th anniversary of Rhythm Heaven. It's the 20th anniversary of the release of Tengoku. So I doubt we're gonna get anything special because Rhythm Heaven is not very popular, so I don't see Nintendo celebrating the 20th anniversary because nobody really, it's not as popular as Mario and Zelda and Pokemon and all those things, and Tamagotchi and Animal Crossing and things like that. There were so many comments on Rhythm Heaven's posts, on Nintendo's posts about Rhythm Heaven. They're like, we don't care about this shit. Give us blah blah blah. Things, relating to Deltarune and Mario and Pokemon. And so I don't know that Nintendo will recognize Rhythm Heaven's 20th anniversary. But if they do, I hope I at least see a tribute or a post or something. I'm not expecting anything game related. There wasn't even a Nintendo Direct since June 9th. And I know that because that was my birthday. That was a really cool birthday present. But yeah, I wasn't super enthused about Quick Hands at first because it was way too easy. I remember thinking, because the first practice just has you catch the sticks. And it makes the same sound of the thing coming at you as every Karate Man game does. And I'm like, why do we need practice? We already know how to do it. Like, just give us the second cue already. But I have to remember that not everybody played the previous games. So maybe this is a good thing. And then I thought the second one would be more my style. Not really. It was still too easy. I will say, for the second one, the music was harder to hear the cues. The music made it harder to hear the cues because it was louder. But I don't like it as much. I love that we got another Karate Man installment. But it's not one of my favorites. I still think Fever is my favorite, solo game Karate Man installment, and then, of course, we all know Karate Man Senior is my favorite. But Mega Mix kind of combines everything, so I don't know if that counts. Some people say it doesn't. I think Mega Mix counts as a Rhythm Heaven game, but, but yeah, that... I am so glad I didn't spoil myself. Also, I realized I was saying Brawly Good Show 2 for the start of the flip side. It's not Brawly Good Show 2, that's in row 7. I was supposed to say Hoop Trundling 2. So, sorry about that. It goes Hoop Trundling 2, Backup Spotlight 2, what's that one called? The bug one. I'm losing it. Crap, I can't remember what it's called. Flutter Speed 2, and then Quick Hands, and then Remix 9. So that's how the rest of the stages went. Every single minigame in Groove that's not a remix has a sequel. And I have mixed feelings about that as well. Because when I hear 80 plus solo games, I expect a few sequels. Because like Tengoku, DS, Fever, Megamix, those games had sequels. Even the Megamix originals, some of them had sequels. But I didn't want half the games to be sequels. That's not what I was expecting. I guess it makes sense because then it kind of keeps it engraved in your brain for the final remix, which, by the way, Remix 20 is the worst final remix I've played. I'm just gonna put that out there. It was not hard. It was not challenging. Fever had the best final, between DS and Fever, the games I've played had the best final remix. The DS's final remix I do remember being kind of easy. Fever took me a minute, and I still want to play Megamix's final remix because holy shit, that thing is awesome. But Groove's final remix was very underwhelming. And it also didn't help that I thought there was going to be 20 rows. So when I got finished with Remix 15 on Friday, I'm sorry. I'm going all over the place here. I knew this was going to happen. So, on Thursday, after Quick Hands and after Remix 9, then I did Stage 10, which had Sweeper Star 2, Hop and Slide 2, which I loved because the faster part that she first says is a bug in the first game, this time she says it's by design and it's even faster. So I love that. And then you even have to slow it down a bit, which, not gonna lie, messed me up on a few perfect attempts. And then Lightning Bolting 2, which I loved, because I love Lightning Bolting. And then Soda Hop, which is the lockstep variant of this game. And that I was annoyed with too, because I was like, this is too slow. Like, lockstep is so much faster than this. Why is this so slow? But, Soda Hop 2 made up for that. It was more my speed. So, I had to keep reminding myself a lot that this is also designed for new players, not just veterans. And I think I was expecting a lot more challenge than I got. But, I did get more challenge in other areas. So, after Remix 10, which, by the way, I loved Remix 10. A lot of people don't, but I do. It starts off slow, and then it gets fast, and then it slows down again. I'm so used to Remix 10 being the final remix that I was like, this is cool. I just unlocked stage 11? What? And I'm still thinking there's 20. I'm still thinking there's 20 stages. So I'm like, I'm halfway done, cool. And so then I stopped after Remix 10 because I was getting very tired. I spent 2 hours on Ribbit Rocket 2. I played Beat Spell in the midst of Ribbit Rocket 2, and Beat Spell is amazing. I did finish it. I didn't record a lot of it. I recorded some clips that I can insert, or maybe I may just do shorts of all these things. But Beat Spell was awesome. It's very stressful, very challenging. Sometimes it's hard to hear Little Miss Reads because everything is so loud. I still have to talk about her too. But I love Beat Spell. I finished all the chapters and now I'm just doing the cave quest. I'm very happy they added that. I wasn't too sure about it at first, but I love it. It's awesome. And I need to get 5 stars. I don't see myself getting 5 stars. The most I got is 4 on most of the chapters, but maybe now that I know how to play, I'll try it again. We'll see. So I spent some time on Beat Spell, then went back to Ribbit Rocket 2, I spent some time on Beat Spell, finished Alien Alphabet 2, and then Remix 8, and then went back to Ribbit Rocket 2, and then did some Score Attack stuff, and then did the first 2 stages of the flip side, and then I was really tired. I ate dinner in the midst of doing, I think, stage 10, because my parents got Raising Cane's, and then I was tired, so I just stopped playing and took a nap. And then I started kind of just playing all the games I've unlocked, because I had done that a little bit, but not much. So I just had some fun with that, started dabbling at multiplayer a little bit, because me being the insane person that I am, uses 2 Joy-Cons to play multiplayer. I kept calling it 2-player earlier because I'm still used to Fever only having 2-player, but this Groove can have up to 4 players. And some insane people on YouTube will do 4-player with just them, and so they're using 4 Joy-Cons. I could never. No, absolutely not. I tried with Rhythm Tweezers, 3 specifically, because oh my god, I tried. Like, I would pick up one controller and hold it in my hand, and then do that pattern, and then pick up the second Joy-Con and hold that one in my hand, and just toss them down and go back and forth like that. It was hell. I don't think I could do that with 4. I don't think I ended up continuing that method with Rhythm Tweezers 3. But then later that night, I decided to keep going, and I did stages 11 through 13, and then I went to bed. And then when I woke up on Friday morning, I did stage 14, and that gave me another credits thing. So I was like, wow, I didn't know that, but I could have played until 14. But I think by the time I finished 13, it was almost 3 a.m. So I was like, I need to go to bed. So then there was another credits thing, and Little Miss Reads doesn't read the credits. I don't like that. She's a screen reader. That's what she's supposed to do, is read the screen. But on the other hand, I kind of get it, because you're also supposed to be playing a game in the middle of the credits. But if she can read the thoughts of the soccer player in both Soccer Dreams games, then she can read the credits while you're playing the 2 credits games. That doesn't make sense to me. But I also understand that this was Nintendo's first time adding a screen reader. She also doesn't read perfect status, which that was so annoying. And by the flip side, I was really starting to get annoyed with her because I already knew how to play the games. I didn't need tutorials, but I played them because I was like, what if there's something new in here? I didn't want to just skip them. I liked how DS and Fever handled the sequels, where if there was nothing new to teach you, it just throws you back in. I like that method. I don't need a recap. If I needed a recap, I would play the first game again. So that was kind of annoying to me. Like, I got annoyed with her constantly describing the scenery, and thinking about it now, I could have turned that mode off, I guess. But I needed it for the new games they were still introducing, so I was kind of torn. I didn't know what to do. But I think I was also getting annoyed because all the games were sequels, and some of them had really good sequels. Like, Wiper Bosses Wiper Bosses, as you've probably seen on my social media, is my favorite of the Groove games. And the sequel, it's not any faster, but it is more chaotic at times, and I love it. That's how you do a sequel. So is Spirit Slasher 2. I do wish parts of it were faster and there were less pauses, because there are so many pauses where they could have easily put cues. And I'm like, why is there a pause here? This is such a long pause. There could have been like 2 cues here. That's how I feel with a lot of the games. Like, even a lot of the sequels were too easy. And a lot of the later remixes, like, everything on the flip side is supposed to be harder. But I didn't get that vibe a lot. Like, Pop Don't Drop 2 was harder for me, but I also didn't love the first one either. I don't know. Maybe I've gotten better since being like 13 or 14 when Fever came out, or maybe it was too easy. I don't know. A lot of times I didn't get the challenge I wanted. The times I did were Ribbit Rocket 2 and Remix 8. Hell, I would consider Remix 8 the final remix because it's harder, it's better, the song is awesome. I can't show it here, unfortunately, because it will get copywritten because it is by Ado, who I learned is a very popular Japanese artist. And I have it on my Spotify. I listen to it all the time, and it feels so weird not hearing the cues in the song. And I'll think about them in my head. I'll hear the cues in my head. So then, like, most of those remixes, like Remix 9 was definitely hard for me to get the rainbow perfect, because yes, I've been doing the rainbow perfect. My top 5 regular perfects I needed to get were Pop Don't Drop 2, Fruit Flex 2, Ribbit Rocket 2, Remix 17, and Remix 19. Remixes 18 and 19 were actually hard. They were challenging. I didn't get it on Remix 17 because that notification just didn't pop up as much. And Fruit Flex 2, I was having trouble knowing when to stop pushing A. So I guess in some ways the sequels were harder in some ways, but like Stop and Go and Stop 2, that's the very first sequel, and I was like, this was not harder than the first one. Why? And then some of them are, like Germ Aerobics 2. That's one of my favorite sequels because it's harder. It introduces a new pattern that you actually have to think about. Like, you have to remember where you left off to then do the new pattern. And the song is a banger. There are so many bangers in this game. That is one positive I can say about it. So many good songs. Like, I wish the whole soundtrack was on streaming for all the Rhythm Heaven games. There are some pretty terrible covers out there that I do not like, but I want the whole soundtrack on streaming. It's so good. But, like, my first thought goes to Space Sentry 2. The first one was fine, you know, nothing to write home about, it's cool. But then the second one, the song makes it so much better, and it adds a new cue. And then I think I said earlier, Spirit Slasher 2. I keep wanting to say Super Samurai Slice because of Megamix. That one is better. I like that one better than the first Spirit Slasher. It's a little faster. I don't know. I still felt like it was too easy. There was still something missing. Oh, that's how I felt with a lot of the sequels. And then, so I made it to Remix 15, because, you know, after 14 I got that notice about the second credits game. And so then I did 15, and then I was shocked when I got to row 16 and I saw Remix 16. I was like, huh? And then it was the slowest remix I have ever played. Why? Why is it so slow? Like, on one hand I get it, because when it's slow you have to think about how to do it slower. But to me, slower means easier. And I was like, this is Remix 16. Why are we still holding my hand? Like, but again, I wanted challenge. I didn't want easy. And then 17 ramped it up a bit more. That was cool. So remixes 16 through 20, 16, 17, 18, and 19 all included games, all included basically every mini game to get you ready for Remix 20. And 18 and 19 were harder. I can give them that. I mean, hello, Remix 19 was the last perfect I needed. And yeah, I got Remix 20 pretty early on in my perfect journey, so that was kind of disappointing to me because Remix 20 was so underwhelming. I was also underwhelmed by the fact that I thought there were going to be 20 rows. And then when I found out 16 through 20 were just in one final row in stage 16, I was like, that's it? But after thinking about it logically, it made sense because the front side had 8 stages and the flip side has 8 stages. So it makes sense. Because I got the number of remixes spoiled, I thought there was gonna be 20 rows. So yeah, Remix 20 is very underwhelming. I got the amazing on my first try, which I feel should not happen on the final remix. And I feel like part of that is because I feel like it's kind of holding your hand a bit with every single minigame having a sequel. So on one hand, it's good that they're all engraved in your brain so you can remember. But on the other hand, like with Remix 8, I just listened to my first attempt again. And when it says, like, a wild jumble of all the games you've learned so far, I was like, I haven't played them enough, but I'll try it. And I did struggle a bit because I didn't remember some of the cues. And I feel like that's how it should be. It should be that way. I should struggle the first time. I did get a very good, which I was like, how? I completely flopped the entire middle of this remix. But then I kept doing it. And if I struggled with a certain cue over and over, I would go back to that specific game and play it again, and then try the remix again. That's how it should be. That's how it was with Fever. That's how it was with the DS. I don't need you to hold my hand and have every single game having a sequel to make the final remix easier. Like, I don't know. Like I said, a lot of the sequels are good, but that's why I consider Remix 8 a better final remix contender, because it was harder. I had to remember all the things I've ever learned. Like, just like Remix 10 in Fever. That's the one I remember the most because it was harder than Remix 10 on the DS. So Remix 20 is not my favorite final remix. It's my least favorite final remix I've played. It's like, I think I'm used to Fever, and Megamix's final remix is pretty fast too. And so is the DS. They're all fast. And then you have Groove. The final remix is not very fast. And it still does the thing where it plays the music of each game, like DS and Fever do. But it was too easy. It was too underwhelming for a final remix. And so that disappointed me, because I was preparing myself for like hell, basically. Like I thought I knew what was coming, and it was just too easy. Also, I didn't know the final remix was coming, especially since Synchro Wings was the final new game. That is way too easy to be a final new game. Like Germ Aerobics being the final new game, and then you have the sequel that introduces that new pattern where you have to remember where you left off and it's faster. That would have been the perfect final game. And then Synchro Wings. Like, that should have been in, I don't know, stage 2, maybe 3. It didn't fit where they put it. They could have put it on the front side somewhere, and then put the sequel on the flip side, give us a break from it, and then, put the sequel on the flip side. I feel like they just misplaced it. I don't think it shouldn't be there at all. I think it should not be the final game because it's entirely too easy to be the final game, the final new game. But yeah, I have some gripes about it, but overall, I still love Rhythm Heaven Groove. So then I was kind of upset because I literally finished unlocking all 80 medals in a day and a half. And so then I quit playing for a bit because I was like, what? How? How did I do that? That I for sure thought it was going to take me until Monday or longer. Like, I was kind of upset about it. But like, I still don't know if it's because I've improved maybe, or because Groove was just a little too easy in some places, or both, like the mini games at least, the solo mini games. But I have a lot of favorites. I mean, I posted a video a few weeks ago of my favorite Groove sequels, which I forgot to add a couple to, so I may repost it. I don't know yet. Sorry, my eye is watering. Allergies. But yeah, so I unlocked all 80 solo games in a day and a half. I think my favorite remixes are 2 because Tsunku's daughter came back to do another song. And at first, when I first played it, I was confused. I'm like, why is it so slow? And then I heard the song and I thought maybe it was her. Also, that's another thing Lil Miss Reads doesn't read. Why can't she read, if it's a vocal track, what it's called and who it's by? That's text on the screen that she's missing. So, like, sighted people get that info, and I didn't. But then, after looking online, I realized it was her. Like, I thought maybe it was, but I wasn't sure. She did the Honeybee remix in Megamix, and I love that song. It's cute. People hate on it so bad because it's a little girl singing it, and I'm like, so? It's cute! And she sounds obviously older in this song, and it's a banger, and I love it. So remix 2, 5, 6, 8 is my favorite, 10, 11, 13, 14, and 15 kind of run together for me for some odd reason. But I think one of those I did kind of like. And then 17. Yeah, I think those are my favorite remixes. And then I have a lot of favorite mini games in general. I think Lightning Bolting was the first mini game that I was like, I need to play that again. That was awesome. But yeah, despite me thinking it's too easy and me finishing solo mode in a day and a half, I still love Rhythm Heaven Groove. My perfect grind took me about, what was it? 6 days? I actually don't remember if it was a week or 2 weeks. It might have been a week. Yeah, it was a little over a week, I think. And I was shocked about that too, because it sure as hell didn't take me that small amount of time with fever. But I love that they added the Rainbow Perfects and Night Mode, because I'm still working on that. I made it to the flip side, and I will do a video on the Ribbit Rocket Rainbow Perfect and Night Mode, because holy shit. So I like that they added that, because it means I didn't just finish solo mode a week after launch, and I'm still working on it. And then multiplayer, oh my god. So this game's multiplayer is not designed for you to play by yourself, but in true Megan fashion, I'm doing it. Because I have no one to play multiplayer with, and I need the trophy and all 30 medals. They're rings in multiplayer. So, Rhythm Tweezers 3 was my first experience in hell. I think actually I tried it in my recordings. I did Rhythm Tweezers 2 and then I tried 3 and I was like, okay, no, I'm going back to the main game now. But I played it. It was awesome. It was frustrating, but it was frustrating in a good way. And I learned that the third of each game is usually hell. So like Rhythm Tweezers 3, hell. Ninja Bodyguards 3 wasn't too bad. Tennis Quest 3, pretty easy. Pet and Parcel, I think, is my favorite multiplayer game so far. I love those, especially the third one. Some sighted people were concerned that Pet and Parcel was not a good blind-friendly game, because you don't know when to beat the boss. And that took me, I think, 3 tries, but I figured it out. Because it makes a click right after the cue goes off. So then I just tried a few different times after listening to that click. And I did fine. Sick Beats 2 or 3? Oh my god. That was hell. But again, in the best way possible. I loved figuring that out. Right now I'm doing Volleyballish 3, and I'm a little confused about that one, but I'm working on it. I'm not gonna do the versus games by myself because that's just weird. If no one is around to play, then I might, just because I want to play them. But that's just weird to play versus yourself. The co-op games I don't really have an issue playing by myself. But I love multiplayer. It's awesome. Definitely gives me the challenge I wanted. Sunku literally said, "Oh, you want to play Rhythm Tweezers? Oh, you said you want to play Sick Beats? Here you go." And just gives me hell. But I love it. And also the songs are bangers as well. So that's awesome. I just made it to remix to stage 12 on the flip side with my Rainbow and Night Mode perfects. So Lil Miss Reads, as I said earlier, does not read perfect status. I don't like that. I don't know if maybe Nintendo just didn't think blind people were gonna go for perfects, but I had to go count the comics in each category, and that was kind of irritating. And also, I don't like that you have to turn on Read and Describe to know your score and score attack, and your, not perfects, your medals, or your rings, or which game is versus and which one is co-op. And, that's not describing. That's all text. Describing means you describe the scenery of the minigame. I don't like how they did that, because I also don't need you to tell me this is the main menu. Of course it's the main menu. What else would it be? I don't know. Maybe because I'm familiar with Rhythm Heaven and I know how the menus work, so it annoys me. I knew having a screen reader would annoy me at times with Rhythm Heaven because I know how the menus work. With my Rainbow and Night Mode perfects, I've actually started turning her off because I don't need her. So basically what happens is when you get a regular perfect, and then you go and play the game, that specific game again, you push A, and it opens a menu that says play normally or go for a perfect. And if you push go for a perfect, it doesn't explain this in the game, but that is how you do rainbow perfects. So you have to push go for a perfect 3 times in a row, and you can't make any mistakes in those 3 attempts. You can do 2 attempts and then decide, oh god, I'm stressed out, I need to play a different game, maybe a game I actually love, and then you can come back to it. It'll save your place. And if you leave the game and come back to it, it'll save your place. The only time it won't save your place is if you mess up. Then you have to start over. So if I'm doing a rainbow perfect on Sneezy Moon 2, and I push go for a perfect 1 time, and I get it, and then I push go for a perfect the 2nd time, and then I get it, and then I decide I want to play Wiper Bosses, so I go and play Wiper Bosses, and then I go back to Sneezy Moon 2 and push go for a perfect, and try to go for the 3rd, and then I mess up. I have to do all 3 again. It sucks. But it's a great challenge, and I love it, but it's frustrated me more than any Rhythm Heaven game has ever frustrated me. So I guess, in a way, they made up for a lot of the solo minigames being too easy, because the rainbow perfects are hell. And having to get a perfect 3 times in a row. Luckily, night mode is more generous. You only have to get a perfect on night mode 1 time. And night mode means nothing to me, so that's just another perfect I have to get. But it makes me feel good because I know I don't have to start all over with the rainbow perfects again. So, yeah, And I am going in order because I knew if I did my favorites first, I would forget which ones I did because, as I said, Lil Miss Reads doesn't read perfect status. Like, she doesn't say, and also, if you have, now I'm trying to think. If you have read and describe on, does it? Or no, okay. If you have just read the words on, she will say the score you get on that specific game, like amazing, try again, whatever it is. But she won't say medals, 80, until you turn on read and describe, which I think is really weird. And she never reads your flow score and your little name based on your flow score. So those are some improvements I wish could be made. But overall, I'm just happy we have a screen reader in general, and that Nintendo is trying to make their games more accessible. And what better way to start that with than Rhythm Heaven? Because Rhythm Heaven is already blind playable, so that makes me really happy. And I think it's cool that I've gotten to the point where I don't really need her for the solo games anymore. I still need her for the multiplayer games and Beat Spell. I think I'll always need her for Beat Spell because you have to pick things and spells and equipment, and there's no specific order for those. They're like randomized basically. But yeah, Rhythm Heaven Groove is here. It's been out for a month. Happy 1 month anniversary to Rhythm Heaven Groove. It's amazing despite my little gripes I have with it. I appreciate that the entire thing is not too easy. The solo games may be too easy for me, but the getting a rainbow perfect part, like feeding the beast was my first issue. And I'm not even playing in docked. So I don't trust myself playing in docked with rainbow perfects. Absolutely not. There's too much of a delay issue. The game lets you know that, but I wish they could fix it. Because I want to play on my TV. I want to play on my soundbar. But I don't trust it, so I just play in my earbuds. But yeah, I'm so happy we have a new Rhythm Heaven game. I'm glad I'm not done with everything yet. I'm glad they gave us more content. I'm glad a lot of it is more challenging than it seems, like the Rainbow Perfects and the multiplayer and Beat Spell. So I got challenges, just not in the areas I expected. So overall, I'm happy. And part of me hopes we'll get something for the 20th anniversary, but I'm not counting on it because nothing has been announced. And I think it would be cool if we got a Beat Spell game, because I didn't think I would love Beat Spell as much as I do, but I do. And the music, it has bangers, and I love it. And I will post some clips of me doing Beat Spell because I do have some. But yeah, Groove is amazing. I'm trying to think if there's anything I forgot to mention. If there is, I might make a short about it, or I will remember as I'm watching the video, I guess. But thank you so much to Nintendo for giving us another Rhythm Heaven installment. I thought we would never get another one. I hope there will be more in the future, especially since this seems to be like a soft reboot. And I noticed when listening to my voice memos of me playing for the first time that Quick Hands, when you have read and describe on, it says like you're a karate student learning to catch sticks in order to make your punches quicker. So to me, that means we will get another Karate Man eventually that is like faster and more of what I want. I was hoping that would be the Quick Hands sequel, but it wasn't. And other people were too. They were like, well, hopefully the sequel will be the punching pots and light bulbs and things we've come to know. No, it wasn't. But hopefully, if we get another Rhythm Heaven installment, it'll be more like the Karate Man we know. And maybe the sticks, the catching sticks, was just more training so he can live up to Karate Man Sr. Maybe. And then maybe we'll get Karate Joe graduating like Karate Man Graduate, and it'll be similar to Karate Man Senior. I don't know, but that would be awesome, and I hope to see more of the staples in the future if we get a future game. And yeah, thank you also so much to Nintendo for including Lil Miss Reeds. I love that you made her an actual character. That is a really cute idea. And I was a bit confused at first because a screen reader is never shown in promotional material. And my best friend kept being like, you need to be careful. Stop getting your hopes up. It's not a screen reader. It's just promotional material. I'm like, can you stop? They've said it's a screen reader. And she just did not believe me. I was actually getting really annoyed with her. Like, I get keeping your expectations in check, but when you have proof that it's a screen reader, like, it's a screen reader for Thor's sake. And so then, me being the playfully petty person that I am, when the demo came out, I sent her a voice message of me learning Disc Dog and Lil Miss Reeds, sure enough, reading the instructions. She had nothing to say about the screen reader. Nothing. She was just like, wait, how are you playing it now? I'm like, the demo came out. Aren't you gonna say anything about the screen reader you said doesn't exist and it was just promotional material? And she just did the face with stuck out tongue emoji. Like, I was just being silly. But I'm like, see? I told you it's a screen reader. And I even told her, like, in the Treehouse Live demo, it's reading the descriptions of the games and reading which game you have selected, reading which games you're scrolling over, reading the instructions. You don't call that a screen reader? They're literally playing it right now. And she just kept saying, it's promotional material. I'm like, oh my God, stop. Like, she wasn't trying to rain on my parade, but that's how I kind of felt. But I'm glad that Lil Miss Reeds is actually a screen reader, and I wonder what other games Nintendo can do that with. Like, I don't know how they would how they would port, if they would even do this, Mario Super Sluggers for the Wii from the to the Switch, because I just needed help picking my team and my field and all that stuff, but I could play the game myself. So maybe that, if they decided to port that to the Switch, but I don't know how popular it was. And maybe Mario Kart, and there would have to be some audio cue to know, like, where you're going and where to go. Like, I don't know how that would work. I've never played an accessible racing game, but I would give anything to be able to play Mario Kart. Specifically Mario Kart Wii, but I probably won't be able to. And maybe, like, Switch Sports. I feel like they could have added a screen reader to that, but only time will tell. And maybe Smash Bros. I'm excited that Nintendo has started their era of making games accessible. As I said, Lil Miss Reeds does need some improvement, but the way she is, she's perfect. And I love when sighted people are like, oh, I don't need this. She's reading everything. She's annoying. Gah, stop. And then they go to turn her off and they're like, but she's so sad. Like, their whole demeanor changes because apparently she looks really sad when you turn her off. But yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to say. Thank you again to Nintendo, W Tsunku, W everyone for making all these bangers and these good new games and some of the returning things. And, like, also, I don't get to know what the Easter eggs are, so that's kind of sad, but, you know, it'll only improve with time. So, thank you guys so much for watching my review of Rhythm Heaven Groove. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you're enjoying the game, and let me know in the comments how you're doing, what you're struggling with, what your favorite games are, what your least favorite games are. And I'm floored that I'm still floored that we have a new Rhythm Heaven game after all this time. And I hope I don't miss any more installments. even if I have to get a Switch 2 for the second one, like whatever other one we get. And I wanted to anyway, because it has a screen reader, although I learned that the screen reader doesn't work with the eShop or like online things. Like, hello? Those are kind of important things to work with the screen reader. But again, this is Nintendo's first time with accessibility. The PS4 screen reader wasn't great, but the PS5 improved so much more. So hopefully if we get like another Switch, the screen reader will be even better on it, and maybe I'll get that, depending on when the next accessible Switch game comes out for the blind. But thank you guys so much for watching. I got this notification from YouTube, like an email, that says like I can't pin comments or add embedded links into my descriptions videos into videos. I don't know if that means my descriptions, but if I'm not able to add my Patreon link to my description, it is still in my bio. Please follow me on Patreon to support the channel. Feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe, and all those fun things. Comment below with how you're enjoying Rhythm Heaven Groove, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.